Alicia. Alicia is from Portland, Oregon, and is a sophomore studying political science and human rights. She is the founder and executive director of the nonprofit Kids First Project, which brings educational and recreational programs to youth experiencing homelessness. Its mission is to empower youth experiencing homelessness to reach their full potential and help break the generational cycle of poverty. She was recently named a 2018 L'Oreal Women of Worth and was named one of America's top 10 youth volunteers by the Prudential Spirit of Community Awards in 2016. So now I'm going to let Alicia tell you a little bit about herself. We're just going to go down the panel and have them introduce.
Hi guys, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Brooke. My name is Alicia, and if you asked me 6 years ago if I would ever start a nonprofit, I would have so if you asked me 6 years ago if I would have ever thought to create a nonprofit, I would have thought you were insane. Because I didn't know that was possible for a young person to create infrastructure for something they wanted to do. So I kind of went at it just from a normal volunteering activity. So in 2014, 6 years ago, I began volunteering at my local family homeless shelter, Portland Homeless Family Solutions, because it was right next door to my high school in downtown Portland, and I just wanted to know what was going on with homelessness in my community. I had no idea what to expect, but when I walked in there, I was shocked to see so many kids there, learning that the average age of a person experiencing homelessness in the US is just 9 years old. And after volunteering there for a few months, I realized how little resources the shelter was receiving, despite the fact that it was the only shelter on that side of the river that even provided services to families experiencing homelessness. So it really started out as a high school club at Lincoln called Hope for Homeless Club, and the general mission of it was just to raise awareness about homelessness, work towards ending the stigma around homelessness in my community, but also to address any immediate needs that the shelters in the area might be. And so that went on for a couple years. It was a lot of grassroots advocacy, direct service, but the more my team and I started working with people experiencing homelessness and learning their stories, the more we realized there was a specific unaddressed need that no nonprofit was currently addressing. And this ultimately kind of went around when I was talking to a transitional housing organization, and I learned that at the time they had lost government funding for children's activities 5 years ago, and they didn't have the capacity to manage their own volunteers. And so my team and I got together and we asked, how can we address this problem? So we did a little bit of research, looked at what programs are currently being brought to the shelters, realized that there weren't really any children's activities despite housing and job training support that was given to their parents. And so that basically became kind of our goal of trying to find a way to bring programs to youth experiencing homelessness. And so it was kind of like a need-finding process, right? So we went to youth experiencing homelessness, asked them what they need, what their biggest challenges were. So our first idea was to bring programs directly to schools, but the problem with that was that they lacked transportation to and from the shelter and schools because that wasn't part of the school district that they had. And the next option was to create a physical location, but that also had its problems because it wasn't really sustainable. We didn't really have the capacity as young people to run our own physical location, and also the kids experiencing homelessness didn't really have transportation themselves to get to the shelter and the physical location as well. So ultimately, our program brings educational, recreational programs directly to youth experiencing homelessness living in shelters. So within 2 years, we were serving 500 families a year at 10 locations around Portland, Oregon with over 300 volunteers. And today, we're currently working on a civic education advocacy initiative to basically elevate the voices of youth experiencing homelessness. And we're doing this by providing them with civic education workshops once a week. And at the end of these workshops, we're going to take them to DC to talk to their legislators so that they're able to voice themselves what their biggest needs are and how they can make changes through policy. Thank you.
She's only the first one. Okay, so Rachel Fong is a sophomore at Stanford studying product design. But she's also the owner and producer behind Kawaii Sweet World. Maybe some of you have seen it. It's a YouTube baking and crafting channel that has over 2.1 million followers across social media. She is the author of the upcoming cookbook, Kawaii Sweet World, set to publish in summer 2019 with Penguin Random House. So how cool is that? Do you want to talk a little about yourself, Rachel?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi guys, good to see you all. I know it's the end of the day, so you might be a little low energy, but hopefully this will be fun. But like Brooke said, my name is Rachel Fong. I'm a sophomore studying product design here, and then I also run my YouTube channel, Kawaii Sweet World, where I do baking and crafting videos. So you might be wondering, what does Kawaii Sweet World mean? So kawaii is actually just the Japanese word for cute, and it's characters like Hello Kitty, Pikachu, Totoro, basically just anything in that style. And so then my channel is all about taking traditional baked goods and traditional like notebooks and pens and pencils, and then transforming them to be kawaii. And as Brooke mentioned, currently Kawaii Sweet World has over 2 million followers across social media. But then just like everybody else, I started off with 0 subscribers and really bad videos. And so the question that I get a lot is, how do you go from 0 subscribers to over 2 million? And so I kind of see it in 3 stages. The first stage is really just starting out. And so I actually started my channel when I was in middle school. I was only 12 years old. My first videos are really, really embarrassing, but they're still on my channel. But I started my channel when I was 12, and I was entering this crafting contest that required a video entry. So then I made that video, posted it on my channel. I think it probably got like 50 views or something like that, and just a handful of comments. But then something that I noticed was that a lot of people really wanted tutorials on the crafts that I was making. And so then I posted those tutorials, got a few more comments, a few more subscribers, and then kind of just kept going with it because it was something I was having so much fun doing. And then that's kind of moving into the second stage of my channel, which was getting a little bit more professional with it. So that really changed when I joined this network called Tastemade, which you guys might have heard of. But they do like really fun, sped up cooking videos and things. But then I joined their network, and then they gave me a manager who really helped me grow my channel and essentially offer a lot more advice about how to best utilize YouTube. But then that really helped out my channel. I learned a lot more about the analytics behind YouTube, about the best practices, and then I just kind of kept posting videos from there. And that kind of brings me to the third stage, which is looking at expansion beyond YouTube. So as Brooke mentioned, that means the Kawaii Sweet World cookbook, which is really, really exciting. Comes out July 30th, and I think it's on Amazon. Pre-order it now if you want to do that. But that's been a dream come true to write a cookbook. I got the cookbook deal right before my freshman year, and so then I spent all my free time freshman year writing the book and working on it. And now it's really exciting to see that it's coming out this summer. But that basically sums it up. And overall, I just hope that goes to show you can start your business and you can start working on something you care about really at any time in your life. You don't have to wait till after college. And also, you don't have to be perfect when you start too. My first videos are really terrible. If you go back and watch them, you'll see that. But like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect when you first start off. All that matters is that it's something that you really care about, and then I think that'll really help fill your room. Thank you.
I'm going to get the cookbook. I want to know how to make these. They look so good. All right, next is Rafa Kovlas. And Rafa is a junior at Stanford pursuing a major in science, technology, and society with a concentration in media and communications. She is the founder of the Brazilian social initiative, Faça Parte, is that right? Faça Parte. And the co-founder of the Brazilian-based social initiative, based technology startup One Health. Upon graduating from high school in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Rafaela moved to London for a few months of her gap year to work at a young artist Latin-based art gallery. She then returned and finished the year working on her social project, which she founded at 15.
Hi girls, I hope you're all enjoying this day. And well, as Brooke has mentioned, I'm from Brazil, so that's a bit far, I know. But Brazil is a country where inequality is widespread. And I grew up having people who couldn't afford to eat or couldn't afford to take public transportation even. And growing up in this scenario really shocked me and impacted me. And from a young age, I knew I wanted to do something to change it. And so I was always very into arts and the art world. I loved drawing and painting. I'm sure many of you do. And I was like, well, what can I do with this? So when I was around 13, I started volunteering at a cancer shelter, and I was in charge of doing the art workshops for the kids. And that was really fun, and I loved it. But then I was only working with maybe 15 kids, and I thought, well, this is great, but I want to take this further. And so I developed what is nowadays called Pasa Parte, and the name literally translates into take part or be a part of. And what we do is, it started out as being super tiny. I would go into the slums of Brazil, as most of you might know, Brazil has a ton of slums. And I found these boys who played soccer, and I was like, well, what do you guys want to do? And they're like, we don't know, we just play soccer and we go to school. I'm like, okay, what if I propose to take you guys to like museums and galleries and like take you out of this bubble? And like, they loved it. So that's what we did at the beginning. So the first few years of Pasa Parte was just me taking them to exhibitions, to museums, to galleries, having guided tours. But then I was like, it's really cool. I get to take these kids out of their comfort zone, out of their bubble, but what else can we do? And how can they learn from it or get more from the experience? And that's when I developed the project a bit further. And we started doing workshops with artists. And that, I think, is my favorite part of the project. So once a month, or twice a month, depending on the month, obviously, I take kids from the slums, and it's all boys. So it's me, and usually like 30 boys.